Welcome back again. We will talk today about the entrepreneur selection. We will start with the scoring sheet, which we will define the personality, the entrepreneurial potential, clarity on the project idea, matching between education, experience, and idea, the resource mobilization, which will also include the financial capability of the entrepreneur, the credit worthiness of the entrepreneur. So I will start doing a practical interview today with a new entrepreneur. He is here for us for a short interview to start looking on his potential qualities, looking on his background, try to define this background with his future idea, which means we have to look into his educational background, we have to look into his work experience, we have to look into his talent, we have to see how innovative or how creative could be this entrepreneur in bringing a new startup company or an enterprise. It could be in services, it could be in tourism, it could be in industry, it could be in agriculture, in whatever domain of an economic sector an entrepreneur will start. But there are very important points we have to look into the interview. The interview is not an interview for getting a job. It's not an interview to get into a school or university. It is an interview so that we start developing what we call the first chemistry. We should be working between the entrepreneur and the business counselor. We should start looking into who is this entrepreneur? Why is he coming into this program? Does he have a dream? Does he believe in any idea that can improve his quality of life, that can make him to generate money through investment? And then we can start looking into what are the weaknesses, what are the strengths of this entrepreneur. So when he comes into the program, we start to address the weakness and we address the strengths of the entrepreneur, which will take us through a process of confidence building to develop the first layout of developing a business plan, which will be a startup business plan. So the exercise of today, I will start interviewing the entrepreneurs through question and answers. Then I will start rating the entrepreneur. Then I will start making a small report on when this entrepreneur will finalize the first part of the EDIP, the Enterprise Development and Investment Promotion Program, the Bahrain model. When he will finish the first part, which goes of course for 3 weeks, then after that he will go into business counseling. So in the business counseling, which we will look into it later during the program, during the practical exercise of this program, we will start addressing what we have seen in this interview today. So this interview is very important for us to rate the entrepreneur qualities, to know the weakness and the stress of the entrepreneur. After going into the feeding part of, or what we call the preparation or the empowering part, which is the classroom part, he has to go into the second part, the business counseling. We'll start looking into all what we have seen from the first day and the process which will take us to define and to finalize the business plan, which will enable the entrepreneur to be a risk taker through that long process of what we call confidence building. We will start now the interview. Good morning.
Good morning.
I will just going to ask you a few questions. I understand that you are here to be part of this program.
Mm-hmm.
So you are here with an idea. I know that you have filled an application form, but I will start a small exercise with you to define what is your background, what is your project idea. This will help you and will help us to develop your business plan in the future. It will help us to screen, to look into a number of ideas or of project ideas you might have. I don't know, but I will get that now in the few minutes to come. So it will enable us to understand how we can help you in the future to develop a business plan which will allow you to start your business.
Sure.
May I know what your good name, sir?
Abdurrahman Salah.
Abdurrahman Salah. Abdurrahman, what is your background? What do you do in life?
Well, I work in a bank at the moment. I'm in corporate banking. I work as a credit analyst.
Yes.
And I've been working there for 3 years.
For 3 years, okay. And so can I know what did you study? Where did you
I
study? Where you
studied
go to
at
school?
Bentley College in Bahrain and the US, in Boston.
Okay. What you did? A degree in?
I got my major was in business management, and then I studied also minor IT.
Okay. Okay. And when did you graduate?
Well, that's a tough question. I think 2006.
Okay. Good. Did you do any business before? Did you think about selling or buying?
Well, no. Actually, my father is a businessman, but he kind of pushed me to be an employee, and he thinks that you don't need to worry much when you're an employee. But now I think I might want to start something else.
Well, I didn't understand when you said that your father have pushed you to be an employee. So, did you want to do something different?
Well, I was thinking of working with him in the same company. He's a contractor, but then he said, no, go for the safer choice, basically. Go for the employment, go for the fixed salary.
Okay. Okay. Go for a paid
Yeah.
job. Okay, fine. So now after 3 years working in the bank, what have happened to you? Why do you started to consider again developing your own business?
Well, to put it simply, I don't like what I'm doing. Because
Okay.
it simply doesn't fit. Like, I'm good at it, but it doesn't fit my personality. It doesn't fit what was I hoping to reach.
Okay. So what kind of idea do you have now? What do you would like to do?
Well, since I'm already getting a very high salary, but I'm not happy. So I thought of doing something fun. I don't want to do something that's
Something
going to
which
put
you
me.
like. You want to
Yes,
do something- yeah.
exactly. I don't want to do something that will put me on a desk and looking at numbers day and night, because I didn't like that in the bank. But I'm going to go for something like something that I'm passionate about, like a pet store, because I do love animals.
A
A pet store.
What's that? What do you mean?
It's a shop where we can sell the animal products like food and accessories and toys.
And why did you select the pet shop? Do you like animals? Why did you select the pet
I
shop?
do have a dog at the moment. Yeah,
You have a dog. What kind of a dog?
it's a Doberman.
Okay, that's a big dog.
It's a medium-sized dog.
Okay. So this idea came to you because you love animals and you love your dog, or you think it's more because there is a gap in the market for that kind of a business. How did it happen? How the idea came to your mind?
Well, definitely it has to be a little bit of both. Like, I'm passionate about it, and I realized that there is.
You're passionate about it.
Yes, and I realized that I couldn't find quality products in the market at the moment, because I do have a dog, as I said, and I keep looking for specific brands for the food and for the toys, and I couldn't find it in the market. I tried getting some of the toys that are available, but my dog was able to destroy them in like 5 seconds. So it's not good for my dog, and it's filled with toxic material. So I thought of doing something that could bring like more quality products and natural products that are safer for our animals. And I'm sure that there are so many people like me in the country that do like their pets, and they're willing to pay a little bit more for something much better.
Interesting. Do you have any other ideas other than this? Did you think about something else other than?
Well,
it's very interesting, a pet shop, but let us see, what do you have?
Well, I do, like, my father recommended that I do some aluminum fabrication, but
Okay.
it falls under.
So your father now is discussing with you that you can develop a business? He's just
Yes,
getting,
a business that could help him at the end. So he's looking for his own interest.
okay.
But I have no interest in that field.
You have no interest in that field. So you like more and you love more to have a pet shop.
And I like more interaction with the customers. I like people. I like to deal with pet owners. I think I'm going to be like better with a retail shop that I get, face-to-face
You have
interaction
better
with the customer.
communication
Yeah,
skills.
and
Understand.
that way I'll be hidden in an office.
Fine. Let us. Okay. I am. Well, it's fine. To go with the pet shop. I think the market require that, and it is very important, of course, you as an entrepreneur to do something which you like, something which you love. This is a very important element and a criteria for a startup company. That it has to come from your heart. It has to come from your belief. Then, of course, we have to look into the other technical aspect. We have to look into the viability of the idea, because, yes, it is a process to provide you with confidence building, but also we have to do calculation of risk. We have to make a business plan. Did you look into, for the pet shop, have you seen, are there any other shops in the market? Are these services available?
There are a couple of other shops in Bahrain.
What do they do?
They do sell pet products, and like most of them focus, like one of them focuses on selling animals, which is not my idea. My idea is to sell products mainly and have a clean shop for the customers to buy their products in a very clean environment and neat environment and well organized. And I was also thinking about the customer service part, which was not available in these two shops. Like I want something that I want the salespeople to know exactly what they're selling and to be able to recommend the correct or the right products for the customers or the pet owners.
And how do you think, or how do you find yourself you could be different?
Well, as I said, first the customer service will be different. The salespeople will be more educated, definitely. The place will be much nicer and neater and cleaner, and and I think I am more experienced in the pet. Like I'm very. I read a lot about how to raise a pet, and I'm a pet owner myself, and I have the passion about it. And I took online courses about dog and cat nutrition, so I'm very well aware of what's available also in the market. I did subscribe in the pet business magazines, so I do get all the notices for all the new products that come into the market. So I'm very well aware of what's happening, which I didn't find in the other shops over here in Bahrain.
And did you think about the zone where you're going to have this shop? Did you think in which area you're going to have?
Well, I think the area has to have so many. It has to have a good number of expats, because they're mainly the pet owners, and they might be aware of the brands that I'm going to bring. But Bahrainis will join eventually, but it has to have a good. It has to be an expat area.
So already you thought, or you think, and you have decided where it could be.
Roughly.
Because also it's very important that, because it is a services-oriented activity, so you have to know where is the services area, where it could be. Okay, this is very important for you. Fine. Did you think about how much it could cost you to develop this? What is the initial?
Well, I didn't do proper calculation because I don't have the place yet, and I'm not aware of how much the shipment is going to cost for the products. I know roughly the price of the product, a retail price of the product. I've contacted the suppliers. I'm still waiting for the response.
Okay, so already you started looking into the collecting the data for your business plan.
Yes.
Okay. Well, yes, I can see you have selected a project which you really believe on it, and you really love it or like it from your heart. But it does not relate to your educational background. It has nothing to do with your education.
I think business management is more general, and it could help me manage the company. And in business management, we study so many things like HR and accounting and other business subjects that could relate to what I'm doing.
So the technical part of the development of your investment. Okay. Did you do any saving? Do you have any fund? I know that you may go to the banks But did you get any savings? Do you have
I do have some savings, but I don't think it will be enough. Definitely, I'm
Okay.
going to need a loan.
Roughly, do you think how much it will cost you? Yes, roughly. This investment in US dollars, how much do you think?
In US dollars, around 200,000.
$200,000, about 75,000 dinars. So you have to put some money, of course, from your pocket. You have to get some money. I don't know. Is your father, your parents are ready to help you, or you're going to look into the commercial bank? Your father, he wants you to be in another business. So would he help you even if you develop this business?
It's going to be a bit difficult, but definitely if I need the money, I'm going to try.
Okay. Fine. I will start scoring now according to the different setups of this entrepreneur. Of course, we have looked into his personality. So defining the personality, if I have a rating, I have to define a rating and a scoring, which I have to complete here from 1 to 5. This is the scaling point, for each point here. So I'm going to start scoring the entrepreneur. For his personality, the personality we have to look into how confident he is in the business and how he's convincing and how is he convinced in the idea he has selected. So here I will give him, I cannot be that generous. This is the first encounterment. This is the first time I meet this entrepreneur. So yes, I'm getting the idea from him. I'm getting the information from him. I'm getting the answer from him, but still I'm not 100% sure. So I'm not going to give him very high scores. But he was very good. His personality, the way he defined the project, the way he wanted to go ahead with the project at this stage, it's excellent. So I will give him 3.5 out of 5. Okay? If I knew him, if I knew exactly, if I'm sure about all the information I got from him, I would give him 4.5. But now we'll stay with 3.5. Entrepreneurial potential. What do you mean here by entrepreneurial potential? We mean by the entrepreneurial potential, the entrepreneur himself, does he really has the potential, which means the commitment, the discipline, the clarity of the project idea. The most important setup is the relation between that project and the entrepreneur himself. Does he like it? Is he passionate about it? Does he believe on it? Because it's very important to define that. It is important to define that I might be having an entrepreneur A and a project idea B. It is better than to have a quality of an entrepreneur B and a project idea A. Because here what we assess and what are we looking at and what is important for us is the entrepreneurial potential. I don't know if we have realized one wording of Abdurrahman. He said that I have the skills, I have management skills. I can, when I ask him the question, but this idea you have selected, it does not really go with your education background or even maybe your work experience background. But he defined and he have said, no, through my management skills, what I studied, it can help me to manage this business. So those are the things which we look into the entrepreneur, to look into his qualities and his background, to see, does he have the potentials, really, does this potential matches the idea? The potential, of course, goes on the personality of the entrepreneur himself or herself. Then if we have to look into the clarity on the project idea itself, we have realized that Abdurrahman has a very clear idea. The idea, of course, came from something which he likes. He likes pets. In general, he himself is raising a dog. So that's from one element. From the other element, he realized that there is a gap niche in the market, for providing these services. He have also started to look into where is the area where he can start the business, because this is a very important criteria to know and to understand whom are you serving, what is your niche group, what is your marketing segmentation. Is it on a zone? Is it on an age based? Is it on sex based? Is it on innovation? Is it on creation of needs? All of those elements are very important, you know, for the matchup between the project idea or the clarity of the project idea and the entrepreneur. Of course, a very important element is to look into the matchup between education experience and work experience and the entrepreneur. And I think this have already been satisfied by looking into the management skills of Abdulrahman with something which he loves, which is the pet shop. Yes, it can matches his educational background. The resource mobilization, of course, it's very important to look into the financial assets and the size of the project. Does the entrepreneur can do it financially? Is he capable of doing this? And I think yes, Abdulrahman is fine with this. So if we go back quickly to score the points, I just wanted to capture your attention. So if we provide him for the entrepreneurial potential, I will give him 3. I wouldn't give him more than 3 to come back again, 3 out of 5, to come back again and saying that it is the first encountered or a meeting for me with Abdulrahman, so I cannot give him more than that. So I give him 3. The clarity on the project idea, also I will give him here 3.5 because I think he's very clear on the project idea. The matchup between the educational qualification experience and the project idea, here I will give 3. Okay. Resource mobilization, this is a very important element at this time. So it might not be that easy to know and to determine, you know, the financial capability of the entrepreneur with the selected project. That's something it will only be considered or only be finalized when we finalize the business plan, because when we finalize the business plan, then we assess this, you know, the financial needs. And Abdulrahman himself has answered this question because it's part of his work, you know, in the bank, that he's not very sure what are the financial needs, because this will only be determined and finalized when we finalize the business plan. But I will give him here also 3. Then let us come and group all what we have been doing, or the way we have been evaluating or looking into Abdulrahman potentials, is the creditworthiness. Does all of this make logic? Does all of this means that we are unleashing Abdulrahman entrepreneurial potential and we are making him to be a success story by being self-employed than being employed? And this is even in some of his wording himself, that he wanted and always he believed and he dreamed to be self-employed. He wanted to be an entrepreneur. So are we going to make Abdulrahman a success story? I think yes. So if we give him creditworthiness, I will give him 3.5. So if I add this quickly, this is 6.5, this is 10, this is 13, this is 16, this is 19.5. Out of 30, this is a very successful rating, because the rating actually, if an entrepreneur gets a rating of 15, then he's admitted into the program. Mainly the average is between 15 to 17. If it exceeds 17, 18, it means we are having a good potential entrepreneur. So Abdulrahman will be selected into the program, and he will be joining the coming group of 15 or 20 entrepreneurs to go through the preparatory phase of the EDIP program. I come back again quickly to Abdulrahman to finalize the scoring sheet and the rating sheet of Abdulrahman. Mainly in the scoring sheet or the screening, there is always no less than 2 to 3 interviewers, because it's very important that the interviewers have to come from different background. So the committee or the jury of the selection have to be composed from someone maybe coming from a financial institution, some coming from the administrative part of the EDIP center, someone may be coming from a government ministry like Ministry of Commerce or Ministry of Industry or Ministry of Agriculture, or wherever the project will be hosted. So we will have a group selection, okay? Then we will take and we'll group the whole different selection sheets reports, and then we will see the total, and then we'll do the rating. I have done now an individual rating, but we will need to have 2 to 3 other ratings to rate Abdurrahman, but this should happen together in one time. Actually, the interview or the selection should take something between 10 to 15 minutes, maximum, because it is just to define, as we said again and again, the potential of the entrepreneur related to the project idea. And then, of course, we will be starting developing the skills and the capacities of this potential entrepreneur to start his or her business. Abdurrahman, we have rated you, and we would like to congratulate you that you have been accepted into the program where we will be starting next week. There is something I have just to inform you that there is a little fee to be paid to the program. Mm-hmm. The commitment fee does not cover all the expenses, but we have to ensure that you're going to be committed to the program. So would you have a problem of that commitment fee?
No problem whatsoever.
No problem whatsoever. Fine. How is about your time if we do this program in the afternoon from 5 to 8 after your working hour? Is this fine with you?
Yes, definitely better than the morning.
Okay, fine. When do you think you can start your business after we finalize this? When do you think you can resign? Would you be ready to resign if you realize that this project is viable, that you have finalized all the data for the business plan and so on? Would you be ready to, or do you want to continue your job for some time before you're resigning till you make sure that the project is picking up?
Well, the whole point of starting this business is to leave my current job. So I'd like to resign as soon as I can.
Okay, but of course you're not going to resign before you make sure that your business is picking up, because you also want to secure funding, you want to secure money for your economic security, but at the same time you want to get off. I believe that the minute you start seeing the business is really stable on a good platform, you yourself will calculate that you better resign because you'll be getting better money or rewards than just continuing being a paid employee.
Well, to be honest, I don't agree with that. I do think that I should resign as soon as possible and register the company under my name, because I cannot register the company under my name if I'm still working in the bank. So as soon as I have the business plan ready and the place is well prepared, so I can start the business, I will definitely leave my job and start working over there, and I'll keep some of my savings for as personal expenses, to cover my personal expenses in that period until the business picks up.
But you don't think this is the big risk, just to resign before? But yes, I agree with you. It is something you have to balance it, but you don't find it a big risk?
Isn't that what business all about? It's all about taking risks. So I'm already taking a risk by starting this business. So I don't mind additional small risks.
Fine. Well, of course, we cannot determine all of this now. Let us see when we go through the program, the first part, which will take about 3 to 4 weeks. Then, of course, we will go into the counseling program, and we will determine all of this, and we will ensure that you are ready to take risk, and you are ready to take what we call calculated risk. Is not only the risk. Fine. If I come back again quickly, just to look into, because the continuation of the interview, even after informing Abdurrahman that he has been selected, it is very important to reflect to you that we started doing what we call counseling. We start counseling the entrepreneur himself on his idea or his dream or his project idea, and we start looking into develop what we call strengthen his weakness, and to look into his strengths, and if there's a problem with the strengths, how, because there could also be problem of how confident the entrepreneur. We have realized here Abdurrahman, yes, he's so eager, he has the heat to start his business, that's all fine, but we have to ensure that Abdurrahman does not resign before we ensure that the project is viable. Of course, we will be, as business counselors, we'll be very happy and we'll be the first to try to mobilize or stimulate Abdulrahman to resign. But we cannot do that if we do not ensure that Abdulrahman is ready to take the risk and that this risk is very well calculated. So you realize that now from the first interview, how we started to look into Abdulrahman qualities and how we started to improve his qualities. But very important for the business counselor is not to be emotional with the entrepreneur, not to confront the entrepreneur, even at the first interview, not to tell him that he's wrong or right, okay? Because you don't want him you don't want to upset his dream at this time. You try to capture him with his dream. You try to build on with his dream. If immediately we start resisting, if immediately we start to confront with the entrepreneur, this may make the entrepreneur to be hesitant. This will weaken, the entrepreneurial spirit and the entrepreneurial potential. This is why we have to work as therapists. We have to deal with the entrepreneur, to know his feelings, to know his dreams. But of course, always we have to ensure, and we have to make sure that the entrepreneur will go through the process of business confidence building and calculated risk. So if we can always balance these two, and this is going to be the case of Abdulrahman, he has the confidence, so we are not going to work more, or we are not going to have a big problem in building his confidence, not his personal confidence or his personality confidence, his confidence on the idea. But we have to work more with Abdulrahman, and this is what I'm rating here, or the report I will be leaving for my other colleagues, that we have to be working and to ensure that Abdulrahman is going to go through what we call a calculation of risk. So we have to ensure, the project may look very fine. The project may look into the first 3 to 4 months, it may pick up. But there are so many other problems sometimes. Sometimes there could be a problem on the location selection. Sometimes there could be delays from the customers in paying back. Sometimes there could be some incidents which Abdulrahman didn't put it in mind. There could be a fire in the place, there could be a road work in the place he have selected. Maybe he have imported goods, the goods didn't arrive on the right time. Those too many things could jeopardize, the business if it's a startup. So we have to look into those to ensure that if Abdulrahman will start his business will pick up on the right direction and wouldn't have problems for the future of the business of Abdulrahman. So if we will end here on the selection criteria or scoring of an entrepreneur, we have here an entrepreneur who have scored 19.5 out of 30. This means is an entrepreneur, potential entrepreneur A, which means that, and also I can say the project idea at this stage, it could be at a rating of B to A. So even if it is B for me and I have an entrepreneur who's A, it means that Abdulrahman have scored to be part of the program. This selection of interviews, we will realize that entrepreneurs will come from different backgrounds. They may be coming fresh graduates. They may be coming after working some time. They're not happy with the work environment. They may be coming with a talent background, that they have a talent and they want to make this talent as a business. They may be working in certain activities and then they decided for themselves that they came at a time that no, they don't want to be paid, or they don't want to be employed, they want to be self-employed. Those all different backgrounds, it determines us to look into the qualities and the potential of this entrepreneur. And this is what we will be seeing, because we will be looking into 2 or 3 different entrepreneurs' qualities, coming with different background. They may be coming from services background. They may be coming from a certain industry background. They may be coming from that they have looked into something which they love from their hearts, and they think that they can make it into a business. Also, we can look into these potentials when we are doing the screening. Thank you very much for today.